be talking ultimatums here at the 194 Morning Playhouse. You ever give one, get one? Do you think they ever work? Because reportedly, one of our 194 artists has gotten one from his spouse. Jessica Biel is being said and reported by lots of entertainment outlets has given Justin Timberlake a bit of an ultimatum. Basically, it's time to straighten out, stop with the booze, stop with the partying, or I'm out of here.
Has he really been partying a lot, or is it just when he got in trouble, the world tour is going to be canceled?
So, and that was a long time ago already.
Yeah.
That was like 2 years ago, right?
No
so that
way.
was 2024. He had that. Oh my God, it's gonna be canceled.
What tour, sir?
And like you kind of wondered if this police officer had ever heard of Justin Timberlake before because it was super awkward. Well, since then, it's really not stopped. I guess he's always partying. He's never at home. And then there's some stuff coming out about how it looked like he kind of overdid it at a golf tournament in Las Vegas this past week. So it's been just like constant. So she's tired of it and like, okay, you're either going to figure this out or I'm out of here. I'm tired of being embarrassed. You're never home. I do everything with the kids. Just not dealing with it anymore. So hopefully he listens.
I would hope he would listen, right? I mean, if this really is a thing and it's like you have to choose between your family or going out, you would hope he'd make the decision for his family.
You'd think so. So she's trying to bring Justin back, but not so much about them, just in general. Ultimatums, because I know there's lots of feelings on these. Just in general, you ever give one? What was it for? What did you want? Or did you ever get one? And then, like, how did that go? Do you think they can ever work? What's your experience with them? Most common one we hear about is, like, propose to me or I'm out the door. But I know there's ultimatums for tons of stuff.
I think they're kind of a bad idea because you're like, choose me or choose something else.
It's, a lot of times they might not choose you, I'm to be honest with you.
I think, yes, you can have boundaries, but saying it's this or that, it's kind of a lot. I don't know if I really like ultimatums.
Not a huge fan of them. I think there's probably a healthier way to deal with this stuff. Have you ever been part of one? Anyone ever try to give you one at all?
Not that, I mean, I'm sure.
Anyone ever try to tame the beast?
I don't want to be called the beast.
Or do you think you've ever given one? Or I suppose not if you don't like them.
No, maybe like in high school, some like high school boyfriend. Stop talking to her or we're breaking up.
How'd that go?
I mean, I think
don't know.
it worked. Yeah, for that. But that was like a high school relationship.
Ultimatums, do you think they ever work? Have you been part of one? Hi.
No, I don't think ultimatums work. I don't think they work. I think if you have to give someone an ultimatum, I think it's a desperate move, and I think it shows that it's a desperate move. And if you have to manipulate people like that, good luck, girlfriend. Good luck.
So you don't think like, hey, get your stuff together or I'm out of here. You don't think that, like in that instance, that kind of ultimatum like what she's giving, you don't think that there's any value to that?
Well, here's the thing. I think if he needs a kick in his butt, you're going to have to continue to do that. And if that's the kind of relationship you want to be in, where you have to constantly kick your partner for them to do the next thing, Put your boots on, baby.
Get your boots on. Do your kicking.
We are getting people that have given ultimatums. Someone said, I gave my husband an ultimatum about his job. I told him to quit or I was leaving because he was never home. He quit, then he resented me for it, and we ended up divorcing anyways. I wish I would have handled it differently. And someone else said, I hate to admit it, but I did, and mine worked. I told my boyfriend I needed him to start pulling his weight at home or I was done. Like he needed to help with dishes, laundry, all of it. I was serious, and he stepped up. That was 2 years ago. We're married now, but I think it only worked because I was actually ready to leave.
It happens, right? You don't have to be famous to have an ultimatum put on you. Do you think they ever work? Has anyone ever given you one, or have you ever yourself tried to give somebody an ultimatum, and how did that go?
Someone said my ex tried to give me the old ultimatum of choosing between her and a female friend I had known for 20 years and was my best friend's sister. We're not in high school. Someone else said, yeah, I had given an ultimatum once, told my ex stop partying every weekend or I'm out. He picked the partying, and honestly, that told me everything I needed to know. I think ultimatums don't fix people. They just reveal who they already are.
You think they work or not? Hello?
I think that it does. I 100% think that it does, because sometimes people I think a lot of people get stuck in their own mind and they get paralyzed in their own thoughts of, will this work, will it won't? And I think a lot of times kind of lighting that fire can actually get them to make the right move for themselves instead of overthinking.
So giving them a push or a deadline almost kind of gets the job done.
Right. Yeah, a deadline. Yes.
Okay, we like in the ultimatums.
Someone said, I've been married for 22 years, and here's what I'll say. Ultimatums only work when they're not really ultimatums. They're boundaries. You're not trying to control the other person. You're just saying, this is what you will or won't live with. And someone else said, I think they only work short term. They'll change long enough where they won't lose you. Then they go back to who they were.
You give ultimatums at all? You have given one?
You know, I have done it. I was with a guy years and years ago who was constantly just ditching me for his friends, like making vacation plans and not including me. And I just kind of got sick of it. I understand, you know, guys need a guy's weekend. I'm all for that. But when it's like continuous, like over the summer, like every weekend you're planning a getaway with your guys, like, and not including your girlfriend, like that's got to stop. And I was like, look, if you want this relationship to continue, like, you got to stop this nonsense. Like, let's plan something together. Like, include me. I'm not saying not hang out with your friends. I'm saying include me. They have girlfriends too. Kind of changed for a while, but he just went right back to his ways, and it did not end well. Like, I mean, ultimatums don't really work, but sometimes you do have to, you know, pose them to someone because they may not realize what they're doing.
Yeah, and granted, so ultimatums, we could be talking about a million different reasons you're giving an ultimatum. For the most part, though, I feel like if you're trying to elicit some sort of change, it's not going to work because that person needs to be changing because they want to or they're ready to. Anybody that's just changing because you told them to, I don't know how long that's going to last, man.
Yeah, someone said, my girlfriend told me I had to get serious about drinking or she was done, and I was mad at first, but it did scare me enough to look at myself. I quit. We're still together. I don't think it was control. I think it was more of a wake-up call. I think that's where it has to be one of those things. I don't like the this or that, where you could give boundaries. Hey, I don't want you partying all the time, but you can't be like partying or me or whatever your ultimatum is.
Now, in the case of Jessica Biel, she has been a pretty tolerant person for the past couple of years because Timberlake's been all over the place.
I really didn't realize he was partying that much.
Well, and how much was happening before that DUI, that infamous DUI?
We gotta find the clip about it.
My world tour.
It's gonna be canceled.
Your ultimatum, do you like them?
I think they're healthy.
Healthy and ultimatum, not a word you usually hear in the same sentence. Why is that? Why do you say that?
Listen, you got to like lay down rules, and I wouldn't call it like ultimatums. I would say maybe they're just guidelines, but at least it like kind of puts them in the right direction, and it tells them exactly what you're looking for in a relationship.
Hey, I want this to work, but I'm going to need you to blankety blank. You support it.
Yeah, or you can say this is what I prefer if you're dealing with like someone who is not good to change.
It is my preference that you stop traveling the world partying and getting pulled over for DUIs.
Someone said every time I've been given the choice of an ultimatum of do this or I leave, I have left. I don't do ultimatums.
Do they work?
I think ultimatums can work if a person is on the fence and leaning in your direction. If they are not, the ultimatum might work for a minute, but in the long run, it's not going to work because that's obviously the decision that the person did not want to make. They only made it under pressure.
Got it. Your ultimatum experience, you have one?
So I gave an ultimatum to my boyfriend he was a smoker. And he claimed, like, when he was trying to quit that he just smoked when he drank. So then he started, like, drinking every day after work. He would come home with, like, a little six-pack. So I gave him an ultimatum that he could only pick one. He could drink or he could smoke, or I'm out of there.
How'd that go?
Oh, I'm single.
Okay. So, arguably, yeah, the ultimatum, it ended the relationship. So if you went back in time, would you give the same ultimatum again?
I think I would, because there were definitely, like, other red flags in the relationship that it wouldn't really work long term. So, like, got it over with before, like, investing years.
Accurate, I suppose.
Someone said, I used to hate ultimatums until I realized sometimes it's just someone saying, I deserve better than this. And it's not really a threat. It's them realizing they don't need to be putting up with stuff. Maybe, yeah, I feel like, what did you go through that made you realize that?